Boom! We are live. What's up, guys? We have a special Tuesday night live Q&A for you. We're gonna do something very interesting, something that we've never done before, which is shit on FreshandFit, something that's totally new to this channel. No, this is not gonna be shitting. This is gonna be an objective evaluation. So, I actually was pretty much done talking about them, and then this clip came out, and then I watched it and I sent it to you, and we both thought it would be very interesting to comment on this. And I think I'm gonna have there's gonna be some unique dialogue and thoughts. So I'm gonna start off by giving a shout out to Kevin Ray Wilder, because he did a breakdown of this today. This is in no way related, because we had already discussed we're gonna do this days ago.
Yeah.
But he actually did a pretty good job analyzing it, and I think he has some very interesting insights. I'm gonna approach it from a different direction. So he approached it from one direction. I'll approach it more from a practical, utilitarian game perspective, just like whether the stuff that he's saying actually makes sense. If you're not familiar with what we're referring to, we're going to play the clip that's the subject of this little internet controversy. And then we're going to take all your questions. Doesn't have to be, it can be about Fresh and Fit, it can be about whatever, it can be about game, life, you can get Natty's opinion on your dick pics, whatever you guys need.
I don't want to.
Whatever you guys need, we are here for you. We're gonna go probably for like an hour and a half or something like that, but we don't have a hard cutoff, so we'll just have a good time with it. The only thing we ask is that you guys smash that like button.
Please do.
Please, because it helps us in the algorithm, and I want to draw a lot of. What do you need to get?
I need to get water.
Dude, just take this water.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Bam, problem solved. See, that's problem solving in the 21st century. The girl needs water, you just bam, hand her one.
I don't like taking his water because last time.
It's the source of all our troubles is the water. Because there's not enough of it to go around.
You have no idea all the fights that.
All right. Anyway, so let's jump into this. So we got already a few people joining in. Someone said nearly 4 a.m. here. Can't stay up to watch it. Unfortunately, but just tune in because it's going to be on the channel. All right. So let's start. Let's start right away because I don't want to dilly-dally for too long. Let's start with the clip that is at the center of the controversy. So, and then we're going to go into the
girl's at your crib and she says, "Oh."
So this is straight from. This is not like something I pulled out of my ass. This is straight from Fresh and Fit's Instagram.
This is it. This is it, right? When a girl's at your crib and she says, "Oh, I don't want to have any bedroom fun." Totally cool. You can't get mad. You basically get up, say, "All right, no problem," and you're gonna go call another girl, okay? And then what's going to happen is she's going to hear you talking to another girl. Competition anxiety spikes. And then you're going to come back and you're going to tell her, "Listen, I respect your boundaries. I understand you don't want to have any bedroom fun, but I got my needs and I'll see you later." And you tell her to leave. Simple as that, guys. Never, ever let a girl leverage bedroom fun against you to try to get some compliance. She's within her right to not give you the fun. But you're within your right to get the fun from somebody else. Don't be stupid. Don't chase, replace. Okay.
All right. So after this, we're going to play the clip. And this was the clip that was at the center of the debate they're going to get into. But let's first analyze this in of itself. So this overall is pretty poor advice. I'm not going to say that this strategy will never work. If the girl is truly not giving you sex because she's playing a game, and she thinks you're much better than her, and she's truly afraid of losing you, this tactic, which is pretty, let's say, crude, could in theory work. It is far, far, far from the best tactic out there for when a girl says that, I'm not down to have quote unquote bedroom fun with you. I don't even know why he keeps calling bedroom fun. Like you're talking about red pill concepts. You're getting demonetized either way. You can just say sex. Fuck. Like I know this video is getting demonetized. I don't give a rat's ass. Like you can just say those words. You have to keep saying bedroom fun. But okay, that's a whole different aside. So I just think this is I'm not going to say whether this is right or wrong because that's not up for me to decide. It's simply just not effective in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
I mean, okay, so let's say you're with someone. I'm always up for just, if you're with someone who's really blackmailing you or using sex to manipulate you, is that someone who you really want to be with?
But let's pretend for shits and giggles say this is purely for just to get laid the first time, one night stand, because I think that is what the argument he's making.
Okay, if it's for a one night stand and she doesn't want to have sex with you, how calling another girl will be efficient.
So, okay, so I do think that it can be effective in a very limited set of circumstances, assuming that, one, the place that there's many reasons why a girl won't have sex with you on the first date. And this is where Myron gets confused. He thinks that the only reason girls don't have sex with you is because they're using it as a power move. That does happen sometimes. It's the minority of the time. It's not the majority of the time.
On the first date.
Yeah, so he is completely wrong about that. It does happen, but that's not the main reason why girls don't have sex with you. Usually, it's because of a lack of comfort, a lack of attraction, or anti-slut defense, or unanswered concerns or objections. Usually, it's one
poorly prepared. Or on their period.
Yeah, or it's something that's outside her control, like that, right? Or it could be that she is trying to make a power move, but that's a small percentage of the instances. Now, so I think that if she is doing it because it's a power move, and if she does truly think that you're way above her, like let's say the girl's not that attractive, and then Kevin Ray Wilder made this point. Let's say the girl's like a 4 or 5, and you're like a 7, and I know you hate the scale, just bear with me, and she is worried about losing you. It could work. It's a crude strategy. It's like trying to you're trying to hit a nail with a sledgehammer, right? It's a little crude. It can work. I think there's better tools at your disposal. So I'm not going to say the strategy will never work. It can work in certain circumstances. There's a lot of other circumstances where it won't work. Let's say the girl is not having sex with you because she, feels like, she's going to be like a slut and she doesn't like to have sex on the first date. In that situation, it will not work. Let's say she's on her period. In that situation, it will not work. Let's say that she forgot to shave her pubes. In that situation, it will not work. There's so many reasons why, so many situations where this thing could not work, right? So yeah, again, completely lacks nuance. But so that's what I want to touch on. Do you have anything to add on this?
I mean, I would just say that calling someone and be like, hey, you don't want to have sex with me? Let me call someone else, and have that conversation in front of someone you want to get laid. It's so, what the fuck? I would just run. I'd be like, this guy has problems. And she most likely would think that this person has mental problems. So I don't see how it could ever work, or how you could ever use it to your advantage. I
think there are situations, again, I guess you and I disagree with this. I will say there are situations where it can work to your advantage. They're just not the majority of time. And I think that's the problem. He doesn't make that nuanced point that, hey, this is a very extreme strategy. Again, I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong, because it doesn't matter what the fuck I think. Everyone has their own morals and ethics.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just talking about purely whether it's going to work or not. Yes, it can work in certain situations. However, guys, there's better strategy.
What is the percentage of situations?
I don't know. I mean, I
would say like 2% of the time.
Say like 5 or 10% of the time, or something like that. It's less than 50% for sure.
That's a very risky move.
Yeah, it's poor game. This is poor game, and this is where I'm gonna quote unquote attack them for, because they are claiming to be a dating channel, the #1 dating podcast in Miami, as if that's not a dig at me, but okay, whatever. This is the #1 dating podcast. We all fucking know that, and we'll know that once I have my studio. No, okay, I'm not gonna get into a dick measuring contest about that. But I do think that this is not good dating advice. That's the issue.
Okay.
If they were branding themselves as a red pill theory podcast, then okay, whatever. That's your theory that you have. But this is not good dating advice.
Ruben is here. Hi, Ruben. I love Ruben.
Who's here?
Ruben. I always remember Ruben.
I don't know who that is.
He's always the sweetest. I do know who you are, Ruben. I don't know who you are, but I remember you.
Let me just quickly. I know there's some off-topic questions. I will take those after this, so don't hold back.
Quick question. So what should you do in that situation? Because we
when the girl,
it's kind of like holding back on the first date, and you thought that was gonna be a good solution. So what?
Okay, I'm gonna preface this because I really don't like to talk about. This is called LMR. I call it, he thinks it's just like her making power move. I call this LMR, last minute resistance. It's not something I like to talk about on YouTube because it gets very misinterpreted really badly. But that's just my general, that's why I'm being a little vague when I talk about this. This is literally the only topic I will kind of dance around. Every other topic I will just head on.
Okay.
And simply because I don't want to lose my channel. But so I'm going to give kind of more vague advice on this. If the girl doesn't want to, for example, you pull her back to your place and she is like, oh, I don't know if we should do this. It could be any number of things. And the first thing I would do is take a step back, right? You want to kind of give her a little space. Now, there's quite a few situations where a girl will actually test you with that. And usually these are girls kind of unfortunate who had sexual trauma in the past, right? But you get to the point of sex and they're like, wait, we shouldn't do this. And all they want is for you to respect their no and just say, okay, totally fine. And then within 30 seconds later, they'll be like, okay, let's have sex. I've had this happen so many times. And the pattern I've seen is these are the girls who had sexual trauma in the past. All they want to do is just see that you will respect their no. And if at that point, when that situation, you go in the other room and you call another girl, you will lose that girl. All you have to do was wait 30 seconds. That's one situation. Another thing, it could be that the girl is just teasing and playing. You know, it's just part of her song and dance. Like she just wants a guy who like she can tease and who just kind of like goes for it, right? Again, not in a rapey way, but like, you know, in a dominant, aggressive way. So not aggressive. Let's strike that word from the record. In a dominant way. So in a situation like that, what you have to do is take a step back. You know, and then you try again, and then you take another step back and you try again. Again, all within it should be as soon as you see the girl giving you a serious no, like, hey, listen, I said no. At that point, you completely back off. But if it's like fun and playful, like, I don't know if we should do this tonight, you know, like, I don't know, like, then it's more like fun and playful. She just wants to have that little song and dance with you. At that point, you got to just kind of like show her that you're not phased. It could be a shit test where she just wants to see how you're going to react. Are you going to get butthurt? Are you going to start arguing with her? Or are you just going to be cool and collected? That's another reason why girls might say no. Another one could be she has some unanswered concern or objection. So, for example, maybe she's worried that if she fucks you on the first date, she won't see you again. Maybe she's worried you'll think she's a slut. Maybe she's worried that, you know, maybe she's on her period and she's worried that you're going to judge her for bleeding all over your bed, like for being a Bloody Mary. Like there's so many reasons. And at that point, you have to address that concern or objection. So there's many reasons why a girl will not sleep with you. Okay. And, you know, and it could also be a lack of comfort. Maybe she's not fully comfortable with you yet. Maybe she changed her mind. Maybe she was interested in sleeping with you when you were going back to your place, and then you said something really dumb, and that turned her off. And now she's not sure. So now you kind of gotta, game her a little bit more. So again, so many situations, and just to say that it's always a power play is just like you're doing a disservice to game and seduction and just everything that you claim that you talk about. So
awesome. Okay.
I like this guy. Why don't this dude get nose fixed? It looks terrible.
It doesn't look terrible. Like
super on topic.
It doesn't look terrible. What do we have to?
No, because it's funny. So I do want to just. Will you go on their podcast? At this point, no. I showed interest in going on their podcast way initially, and then I was met with some lack of disinterest, and I made a legitimate effort to co-promote with them way back when. They did not pick up that effort. I tried, put in my due diligence. They were not about it. At that point, I'm just moved on. So I probably would not, especially the main thing is I just don't really like the way they treat their guests. Like every person I have on my channel, I treat with respect, because if I'm inviting you on my channel, I'm gonna treat you with respect. So I don't like I wouldn't really trust them. Like I wouldn't trust to go on their show and then they don't do some kind of like weird kick out and then do all like this shit. Like I don't want to get into like a weird fight and just all that. So no, I would not. I would just I'm at a point where I'm just like, let them do their thing. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna cross promote with them. All right. Anyway, let's get into the actual video. Let's debate. So this is where things are gonna get juicy. All right. So we are minimized. Let's play this.
Sex, now you no longer
okay. Let's start from this
feel beginning. About this. We don't feel anything. We accept it.
I understand the reality, but this was the segment.
Yeah, or complain. Yeah. Men complain when they're young and can't get girls. Women complain when they're older and can't get a husband. Yeah.
Okay. I think just going back to the question though, I think it's a little unfortunate that you guys don't want to at least even just say that you think that it's wrong. The reality is wrong. Because look, that the fact that that's the reality, that's the reality. Of course, yeah, I see that. But the fact that you guys just can't answer my question and say
because
yes,
men
I
are
think it's
objective.
wrong. It's a little telling. And you know what? You guys are saying the whole time that we don't want to answer questions, but you guys didn't even answer my question. So
we did answer it.
No,
multiple times.
You guys, you said no comment. Multiple times you guys said, I can't comment on that. No comment. No, but that's fine if you.
We just give you a long ass answer.
You just don't like the answer
of why reality is the way it is.
But if you would have asked us, you would have been like, okay, but what do you think? What do you think? Okay, but don't worry about what other people are outside of it. But how do you?
This is the difference between how men and women think. This is a perfect example right now. Guys, take your fucking notebooks down. Notice how we said we accept reality right? For what it is. Fuck our feelings. We accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
You guys want us to get on the female lens and feel it's wrong.
The funny thing is that he's accusing the girls of being in their feelings, but like literally in the next half hour, he's gonna get so in his feelings, and he's gonna get super emotional. So he's like, "You women, you're all about your feelings," but then he's gonna and the chick like stays super calm. So I just find that very ironic. But anyway, let's get into this.
Right. Our hope, and we're telling you that reality is immoral, so we don't care. Men aren't. Our feelings are irrelevant. We accept objective reality. So, how do I feel about this? We don't feel anything. We accept it.
Yeah, that's not true. Everyone has feelings. Myron could pretend that he doesn't have feelings. It's very clear by the way his tone goes up and how pissed off he gets sometimes that he clearly has very strong feelings about these issues. And to pretend that as a man you don't have feelings is like literally the dumbest thing ever. It's like making the argument that because she's a woman so she doesn't have logical thoughts. Like, no, men have feelings, women have logical thoughts. On average, I would say I agree with him that men are a bit more logical, women are a bit more emotional based. On average, there's exceptions. There's some women who are very logical, some men who are very emotional. But to say that he doesn't have any feelings about this stuff is is just a bold-faced lie.
I understand the reality, but this was the part of the show that you guys were saying, do you have any questions for us? And I was asking you for your opinion, and you guys were saying, I can't comment on this. Maybe you guys should just watch this podcast back and see what I was saying, because I feel like you guys are not understanding, or you just don't want to say the words, which I understand because this is what your podcast relies on. This is your whole basis of your podcast. You guys are reframing misogynistic ideals for modern men to consume and be okay with. So, but that's that.
I think Fresh just jizzed in his pants. Go ahead.
Do you think that they do reframe misogynistic ideas to have men reframe it and consume it?
So the point they're going to make later on is the definition of misogyny is like the hatred of women. I don't think they hate women per se. I would not. That's not. I think that though. I actually think that the chick took the wrong argument. I would not accuse them of being misogynistic. So there's nothing they say that's overtly misogynistic. I think that there's a lot of bitterness. I see a lot of poor game strategy in general. I see a lot of dumb fuckery. I see a lot of somewhat beta behavior. I'll call that out as well. I wouldn't say I would see any explicit misogynistic thing. I do see in their audience sometimes, like you'll see when it goes to the chat, like there's a lot of it's a lot piling on. They're all piling on the girl. No one's thinking for themselves. So I see a lot of groupthink in I'm not going to say misogynistic because again, I don't see any outward hatred towards women. So it wouldn't be fair for me to say that they're misogynistic.
Okay. Do you feel that, because I do feel that they do have, I'm not too familiar with their work. What I've seen has been a few clips that here and there, but I do see that a lot of their rhetoric falls in us versus them.
Yes.
And a lot, he has made comments where it's well, women are not good leaders. Women cannot be trusted. There was one video that you even reacted to it, where he mistrusts women so much that they're I couldn't not even allow them to go to the to go dancing or to go by herself to the beach.
Yeah.
So I find that he can sometimes fall into not misogynism per se.
Yeah, misogynism is the wrong word. There's a better word that we're looking for. I'm gonna call it dumb fuckery, but I think there's a better word.
But that me versus them mentality.
Me versus them, yeah,
and we are better than them, and they need to be put in their place can lead to sometimes misogynistic or.
I will. Okay, so I gotta defend Myron here or FreshandFit here because they never actually say that we think we're better than them, and whenever they get accused of that, they refute that. And I've never seen them. Believe me, I love calling these motherfuckers out more than anything. But they've never said that.
Okay.
I do think they have a lot of us versus them type of mentality. That doesn't mean it's misogynistic. It just means it's they almost see a war of the sexes. It's I think there's a lot of pain and hurt, and it's a lot of avoiding it's a lot of I'm really worried about being taken advantage of. I'm really paranoid of this. I see a lot of like kind of like borderline paranoia more than anything. Not so much like misogyny. It's more like fear, and I also see a lot of ego. Like I gotta stand up for myself. I can't let like these women have been walking over men for too long. We gotta stand up, and we gotta blah blah blah.
Okay.
So I see kind of a lot of that, but that's a whole tangent. Let's keep going.
That wasn't my question, and
Can
if
you
you guys
tell
don't want to
us
answer it, that's
What
fine.
was misogynist?
Yeah, can you tell us what was misogyny?
No, we're not.
Nah.
If you guys can just scroll through your Instagram page, you guys.
Can you tell us what was misogynistic? Just one thing.
One thing.
Because that's a pretty serious claim.
It is.
That's a pretty.
You guys have
assertive
your
claim.
preferences, and you guys have your preferences, which is fine. But there are definitely some misogynistic tendencies you guys have, especially throughout
Can
your
you tell us
Instagram
what it is
page.
then?
Yeah, for example, on one of your posts, I believe you said there was an example that you wanted to hook up with a girl. She didn't want to hook up with you, which is fine. Like you said it was fine.
Yeah.
But I had to put her in her place. So I said, okay, guys, if a girl doesn't want to hook up with you, that's fine. But put her in her place. You got to call another girl in front of her and let her know.
So that's pure ego right there. So this is your ego. Your ego is hurt because your girl doesn't want to hook up with you, which again I can understand because it is kind of hurtful when a girl doesn't want to bang you. I mean, probably happens to them a lot more than happens to me, but it has happened to me, and it is annoying and it's frustrating. And I do agree that you should kick a girl out, but not in like a rude way. But like if a girl is playing games with you and whatever, I've kicked girls out multiple times.
How do you go about it?
I say, please leave. Like, okay, we're done here. Like, can you please go home? But unless the girl's being super rude to me, in which case I'll troll her a little bit. Like, I'll kind of like fuck with her. But I never get like angry or whatever, anything like that. So anyway, but I think that the reason for calling the girl in front of me in front of the girl is twofold. One is as a means to try to achieve your ends, which is sex. Two, as a way of punishing her or defending your ego. I mean, I don't think a real alpha needs to defend his ego because their ego shouldn't be that fragile. And in terms of as a means to an end, it's a relatively ineffective means to that end. To put it that way.
No, like it just seems like in that little video I saw, it's like your ego is so hurt by the fact that a woman doesn't want to sleep with you that you have to go.
So she nails it right there.
Out of your way to disrespect her instead of just leaving her apartment and going. You have the freedom to do what you want to do. You want to go sleep with 5 girls after her? That's fine. But it's just like, you guys definitely have those misogynistic tendencies. And I see it in your comments, girls, going off in your comments. And it's just like, but I get it. This is the basis of your podcast. This is why guys watch your podcast. Your fan base is just like you guys, a lot of the time, I'm sure. But I mean, it's interesting to hear. And I thank you for inviting me. And
all right, so hold on. No. I gotta rebut that one.
No, of course, yeah.
So okay, so when a woman says I don't want to have sex, she's making a boundary essentially, right? She's saying she doesn't want to have sex, right? So what is wrong with me also having a boundary and saying if you don't want to have sex, now you no longer get my attention, leave? What is wrong with that?
And what is wrong with me saying that my boundary, Myron, is that you should transfer all your money to me, and if you don't, I'm going to post defamatory pictures of you on the internet. Like this is such a dumb argument. Like, and what is wrong, Natty, with me saying that if you don't want to have a threesome with me tonight, I'm going to blah blah blah. Like this is not. He gets a lot of concepts confused. The concept of boundaries, also like the girl have it saying that she doesn't want to have sex with you. It's not really her expressing her boundary. It's not like you're crossing her boundary. It's simply that we discussed this already. Multiple reasons why a girl might not want to have sex with you.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so how is that misogynistic that I'm exerting a boundary as well in response to her exerting her boundary?
No, saying to leave is fine. I'm saying, you said that, like, no, guys, you got to put her in her place. You got to put her in her place, and in that moment, you got to call a girl in front of her. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I said I'll call a girl in front of her.
Yeah.
But the point is that you need to remember, keep in mind that I'm teaching men.
I want to quickly point this out because he says, I'll call the girl in front of her, but later on in the podcast, he is going to completely backtrack that. And he said, no. I never said you call the girl in front of her. I said you go in the other room. So I just want to quickly point that out to the audience because he is going to do that later on.
I want to know the reason why. What do you gain from doing that?
Your ego. You get to you get your ego back, whatever. It's a way of defending your ego. That's what you get back.
I mean, but what if the girl's like, okay, peace out?
Well, then it doesn't work.
And he just laughs and leaves.
Then it doesn't work.
That's what most girls will
Yeah,
do.
no. Then it won't work. It only works if the girl's like, oh, you're such a dick. Fuck you. Which some girls might do, but yeah, it doesn't work if the girl laughs it off.
I would laugh. I'd be like, okay, bye.
Well, then it doesn't work. Then back
Bye,
to
my friend.
back to the drawing board.
And I'll give him like a card of a therapist.
Back to the drawing board then.
Not women. So what a lot of guys will do is they'll let the girl sit there and continue to get their non-sexual attention and think it's okay.
And hope.
Reinforce.
Oh, yeah.
You're reinforcing undesirable behavior from the woman.
So I agree with that. A lot of guys will just fucking hang out with a girl to meets no end, and the girl will just use pussy on a string and just keep them like hooked for ages. And the guys will just do it and give the girl their whatever. I hate using his terminology, but their attention, whatever. And I do think you should not do that. You should not just like fucking, your time is valuable like that. I treat my time as extremely valuable. It's the most valuable commodity. And I will not waste my time on a girl who's playing games. Like, it's as simple as that.
But what if you like each other and like really vibe and you genuinely wanna go, okay, so this is a personal note. When I came to your place on the first date and we didn't.
Right, but that's the difference. You weren't playing games with me. So I have this nuance. They don't have any nuance. So he would just think that because you didn't have sex on the first date, that means you were playing a game. That means blah, blah, blah. I have more nuance than that. So I could tell that your desire, that you weren't trying to play a game with me, that there was some unanswered concern or objection. Unless we can get into that if you want.
We cannot.
Okay. I figured. So yeah, I figured it was that. So I was like, okay, I'll get her on the second night, right? But yeah, that's why it's important to be able to have nuance.
Woman, and you're letting her know it's acceptable for you to withhold sex from me. And what I'm telling men is, no, that's not acceptable. Kick her out of your house. Just like you have the ability to exert your boundary. I don't want to have sex. I don't feel comfortable. Cool.
That's fine.
On the male side, I don't feel comfortable hanging out with you anymore now. You have to leave. The problem is this, ladies. Anytime a man exerts a boundary, right, of what he wants from a woman, especially if it's sexual, it's considered misogynistic. So in other words, it's okay for women to say what they want from men, but it is not okay for men to say what they want from women. And what we simply tell guys is,
what's up?
I think that's an important thing that we should touch base on. Do you feel that what they're saying is true, that it's okay for women to say what they want from men but it's not okay for men to express what they want from women? Just in general, like a general.
No, I think men and women should be able to express what they want.
But do you think, like, because he's making it seem as right now the way society works, women can freely express and can freely set boundaries. My favorite word. But men cannot really express what they want from women without looking misogynistic.
Yeah, they can. I've been doing it for years. No one's ever called me a misogynist, whatever. No, I mean, again, just because someone called you something doesn't make it true.
I don't agree with him either. I don't think that.
I don't understand how you can't express boundaries as a man. Like,
yeah, I don't.
What? I mean, try it. It works.
You have the option to kick her out too. You don't have to sit there and tolerate her leveraging
That's
sex
true.
against you for compliance. That is not misogynistic. And do you know what the definition of misogyny is?
I'm saying that's not you telling her to leave or you leaving is
what does misogyny mean?
misogynistic.
What does misogyny mean?
Misogyny.
So here, I want to point this out. Kevin Ray Wilder pulled this out. He's using a straw man argument. So the issue on the table was, her, kicking the girl out when she doesn't want to bang you or whatever, right? But he's using a little straw man argument. He's now like trying to like pivot, which is a interesting debate tactic. Yeah.
It's like, being against women in general.
No, it is the hatred and or contempt of women.
Yes.
Where do we say we hate women?
Definition.
Please tell us where.
Where do we hate women?
Where do you hate women?
Yes.
Is that the only definition of misogyny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why
very strong words.
It's a very serious accusation. So if you're going to say that, then back it up with. We have no problem.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
you
I
saying we're
just
misogynists.
gave you a whole example. You can play it back on the podcast later if you want to listen to it again. But you've even called a woman a bitch on your podcast live. Sorry for saying the B word.
Hold on. How does me exerting a boundary show that I hate women?
Maybe she meant patriarchal, not
No.
misogynistic.
Let her answer it.
Let her answer it.
Thank you. Wait,
I already explained it wasn't the fact that you were setting a boundary. You were saying in the video, oh, I have to put a woman in her place because she doesn't want to have sex with me. So I'm going to go ahead and call a woman in front of her just to make a point and make her feel disrespected. And it's just like that type of behavior is just so unnecessary. If your ego is that hurt that a woman doesn't want to sleep with you, then just leave or just tell her to leave. Like, why do you have to be disrespectful?
So I agree with that. Like she kind of hit the nail on the head. Like your ego, she's pointing out, like, listen, your ego is clearly hurt. So thus you're doing this, right? Which again, I agree with that.
Like that. And then like on another video, you were on live calling a woman a bitch. It's like, I just think that's a little disrespectful, very disrespectful.
Okay, so there's a couple things that here. So number one, by telling a girl to leave, that does not mean that I hate women.
I didn't say that.
That's what misogynistic means. It means you hate women.
That's what you're saying, basically.
I didn't say because he
Straw man argument.
told her to leave. That's misogynistic. I'm saying he was saying that guys, you gotta put women in their place. Like if we're some submissive dogs that need to be put in our place. Like no, we don't.
Who leads relationships, men or women?
Who leads relationships?
Yeah, what's up?
The whole leading relationship, I do have a problem with that. Who leads relationship, man or woman? I don't think anyone leads a relationship. I think relationships are a teamwork. And it should be, okay, how can you serve me and how can I serve you?
Sure, but I still disagree with you on that. I agree with what you said, but I do think that women like it when a man leads. Like women want a man.
In what way? Like relationship speaking. In relationship speaking.
When
you're just starting in a relationship.
When a man isn't like just like, yeah, sure, babe, we can do whatever you want. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't mind doing that. Like where he's waiting for you to lead versus where man like, hey, I see this happening. How do you feel about this? I want us going in this direction. I want us doing this.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily meant leading. It's like give and take, right? Like
there's always some give and take in any good relationship, but generally speaking,
any good relationship, it's not all about, okay, let me lead the way, and if it's my way or the only way.
No, but leading does not imply my way or the highway. That's a misconception about leading. Like for example, I'm a leader in playing with fire, right, in the business, so I have to lead that business, right? But I don't run the business like a tyrant. Everyone gets a vote. I take everyone's into considerations, but I'm still the one that sets the picture. And I say, hey, guys, this is the idea I have. How do you guys feel about this? It's the same thing. If I don't do that, then the company will not go anywhere. It's the same thing in a relationship. The man has to lead. Now, it doesn't mean that it's his way or the highway, but it does mean that he's the one that's kind of like,
setting the pace in the relationship.
Not necessarily setting the pace. It's more just like he's the one like, hey, babe, listen, we've been doing this for 3 months, and I see this going. I want us to be able to get to a point where we are blah blah blah. How do you feel about that?
But in a lot of cases, it's also the woman who's like, look, I'm seeing this going this way, and this is what I want. I think that in a good relationship, both parties need to express what they want and how they see things. And if it works for you, perfect. If it doesn't, okay, let's see how we can compromise. If I'm not willing to compromise, that's it.
A good leader should always be willing to compromise.
But you know what I mean? Like relationships is not always the man leading.
It's not always, but generally speaking, the man is the leader. It doesn't mean that he's leading 100% of the time. It could be 80-20, 70-30, 60-40. But generally speaking, relationships where woman is the leader don't really work well. And relationships where men is leading work better.
But okay, so be very specific as to what entails leading. It's like, okay, look, I see us moving in together. In a lot of the relationships, most women push men into that. In a lot of the relationship, most women are the ones who are like, okay, look, this is how I see myself. Are you willing to get like married? Marriage are mostly women pushing men into that.
Yeah, I think pushing is a little bit different, but Can
we agree that it can also be leading the way?
What do you mean?
She can be leading the man into be like, hey, look, I want marriage. Where is this going?
Sure, but I would say that the ones where the woman is leading too much and the man is taking the back seat, those won't work out long term.
Neither is if the man is leading too much and the woman is taking the back seat, because that does bring resentment.
Not if he's a good leader. So a good leader, there's a big difference between a leader and a tyrant. Like a tyrant. Okay, let's just go back to my business example. A tyrant example, like, yo guys, this is what I want to do for the company. We're all going to be doing this. Done. Right? No debate. Right? That's a tyrant, and my employees will resent me over time if I do that. Right? That's not how a good leader acts, and that's what some people think leadership is, and that's why their businesses don't last. A good leader is like, hey guys, I have an idea, and here's the out of my idea. How do you guys feel? I want to hear all your input on this. And then if someone is like, I don't know how I feel about this, like, okay, well, what? And then you get them to come around, and you get them to a point where they're like, you know what? Actually, I think this is a good idea, right? You get them to feel that way. You persuade them. That is good. That is good leadership, and I think that can apply to a relationship or to anything else.
How do you apply it to a relationship?
Like for example, let's say let's say I'm tired of living in Miami and I want to move to California, right? Let's say I got a huge job opportunity in California, right? And so I'm gonna lead. So how am I gonna do that? I can say, hey, listen, we're moving to California, and you might resent me for that. Or I can say, hey, listen, babe, I want to talk to you about something. So I got this amazing opportunity in California. I think it'll enhance both of our lives. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, and I'll respect your wishes. I really think this would be great for us, and I would like for you to honestly consider it. That is good leadership. And then you probably, if I make good points, you probably say yes, and then we move to California. I just led that, but I led it in a correct way.
But can we agree that women also lead in a lot of things? I mean, I find that relationships and the successful relationships are the one where both of them work together and both of them lead in different aspects of the relationship.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, it shouldn't be all guy. I think it primarily should be the guy leading. Yeah, and in some aspects, women,
because it does lead to like that whole thing, like one leads and the other one follows.
But it's not absolute. So it's not like the woman just follows and the man leads. It's like the woman follows, maybe 60% of the time. The woman leads maybe 30, 40% of the time on certain things.
See, like I completely disagree with you on that one, because to me, like a healthy, good relationship, it's about both of them working together and being on the same page as to, okay.
Well, I think you should still be on the same page. You can lead, and we're going so off track here. Let's get back. Let's save that for let's save that for couples therapy. Everyone's just pitching. All right, we're getting back into it.
Yeah.
We should like
most
share
of the
what
time,
they
yeah.
have to
Okay.
say. When
So,
No.
assertive
We gotta
dominance,
get
what are you
this.
doing? You're taking leadership of the relationship, right? Or the interaction, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're asserting dominance, which is what men should do and what makes men attractive in the first place. So attraction isn't moral, as I said before. And nowhere in there did I say I hate women by exerting a boundary. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with a woman saying, I don't want to have sex. And it's also nothing wrong for me to say, you need to leave and I'm going to call another woman. I'm in my own home. I can do what I want. If I want to call a woman in front of her, that's whatever. But that in no means I'm a misogynist.
I'm saying the way you talk about women. Yeah. And it's just, I'm saying the way.
It doesn't mean you're a misogynist. It just means you're butthurt. I mean, like, I feel like, again, I don't know why. I think he created a little bit of straw man argument against misogyny because that's not what he's guilty of here. He's just guilty of running poor game, honestly, and getting butthurt in certain situations.
But you were saying it. Oh, if a woman doesn't want to have sex with you, men, you have to put her in her place.
Okay,
like
we gotta use
hate
logic here.
repeating myself.
You're going off of feelings. Like,
So it's no.
Okay, this is so funny because he keeps accusing her, and this is gonna play out, and we can't go through the whole thing because it'll take forever. Yeah, he keeps accusing her of being in her feelings, but she's just like making logical, rational points, and he's like, as the podcast progresses, he gets more and more in his feelings. So it's just like pretty funny to see that. She just literally made like a logical statement. She's like, "You said this," and he's like, "You're in your feelings."
What he said is how he said it, right?
No, it is what he said. He said what he said in the video. You guys can play it or rewatch it. I don't know what you want to do. And like I said, you've called women a bitch. The
when did I call a woman a bitch?
It's on your Instagram page. I saw it yesterday.
Okay, so hold on.
What she do?
Hold on. Yeah, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
I've called men bitches. I've
Yeah.
called women bitches. I've insulted everyone. Here's the thing that you don't like. Women have fought for equality.
I will defend him here because I've also personally insulted everybody, although there's a difference when you call a man a bitch and you call a woman a bitch. It's like when you call your white friend the N-word and you call, a black person the N-word, it means two totally different things. But okay, I'll give him a pass here.
Therefore, they're equal and they can make their own decisions, correct? From a society standpoint, right? Same rights, same privileges, whatever. I can't think of a right or a privilege that a woman has that a man doesn't. I can find privileges that women have that men don't.
A lot.
So, with that said,
You want
women
to
are
pause
free
it?
Yeah, what are a lot of the privileges that women have that men don't?
It's not a lot. There's a few. Like the privileges that he's referred to in the past is like, for example, if we go to a club, like you'll get in for free and I might have to pay cover. That would be like a privilege.
Okay.
Stuff like that, like where if there's domestic violence and the police come, they'll automatically put me in handcuffs and listen to you, right? And then it's like I'll be guilty until found innocent. So there are some, but they're not many. Like there's some.
to make their choices. The difference is that there's consequences to these choices. You don't want to have sex? Cool. Now you must leave. Nothing misogynistic about me exerting a boundary just like she did. Number two, calling a woman a bitch. Under what context? Because if a woman is acting rude or crass, she can be called a bitch just like any other woman and or any other man. I insult everyone the same. I've kicked men off this show. I've kicked women off this show. So
all right, let's debate. Let's quickly touch on this. It's outside the scope, but he's kicked one man off the show, and he's kicked like half a dozen women off the show. Now, granted, most of his guests are women, so that plays into a little bit. But there's a little. If you watch the kick out that he did with a guy, he was a lot more respectful to the guy, in my opinion, than he was to like some of the chicks he's kicked out, where he's like, "Get out! I'm gonna follow you to make sure you don't steal my shit." And then, like to the guy, he's like, "Okay, I would like you to leave." So I don't know. I don't know about that.
Under this argument, let's say that me with my 5 feet, 104 pounds, hits you. Like when I get mad at you and I'm like, you know what, Alex, you're such a femme, and I push you, right?
Yeah.
Would you push me back?
I would only fight back if I was in imminent danger. So if you were coming at me,
No, like let's say we're having a fight.
No, I would not push you back, but that would be the end of our relationship. But
Yeah, but like let's say we're having a fight. I would never do that because you know me.
Yeah. No, I would not.
But I would be like, you know what, fam, and I push you, or I get violent. Would you hit me back?
Only if I'm in imminent danger.
No, if you're not in imminent danger.
I would not. No, of course not.
We're here, and I'm gonna. So under that premises.
I grew up in Russia. Like the first thing we're taught between the age of 3 and like 10 is you don't hit girls. You don't hit girls. Like literally, like in Russia, like if you hit a girl, you're like considered a major low life. So it's
under that premises and under that argument, a woman should never put a finger on you. Like I completely agree under that premises. Like if men deserve the same respect that women may want, but taking into consideration some aspects, you cannot kick them back with the same force, because like if you were to push me, you may kill me. I mean, you're double my size. You're almost double my size.
Yeah, but I got this derp neck, so probably not.
But like if
I could sick Rhaegar on you.
Let's see if I were to put, like, isn't he like 6'2"?
No, but I think you're mischaracterizing his argument. He's not saying that you should respond with equal force. He's just saying if a girl doesn't give me sex, that's
no. Well, like in that little clip, what he's saying is like, I've called men a bit bitches, I've called women bitches, I treat them equally. And sometimes the point
I see your point. I feel like it's a little bit of a stretch, but yeah.
Sometimes, of course, men deserve women's respect 110%. And of course, if someone is not respecting you, sometimes it's better just to walk away with dignity. Why stood to that person's level? And sometimes, even if they're being awful,
well, that's a personal
that's
a personal preference, babe. Like for example.
Yeah, I know. But like sometimes, like if I were to be a horrible person, let's say I have like a Napoleon complex. I'm this horrible person, and I start pushing people. Maybe like a 6'2" man shouldn't push me back because he could kill me.
But that's a little bit different when there's like okay, let's not go off topic again.
Okay.
Calling women don't get privilege for being women just to act ridiculous and not be called out on it. If I call a woman a bitch, under what context was it? She probably did something wrong for me to call her that. Are you a misogynist because you refer to other women as bitches? I'm sure you have referred to other women as bitches. Are you a misogynist for that?
When women refer to other women as bitches, it's like, oh hey bitch. It's not like
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because it's getting very
Okay, have
repetitive
you
here. I
never
want to get
called
to
a
like
woman
something interesting.
Here's the thing. If you're going to call someone a misogynist, then you need to be able to back it up. So we will give you the access to the video. Which video was it? Let's go on our Instagram.
TikTok.
And pull it up. Was it
I think
TikTok?
it's
No,
TikTok.
actually.
it was on Instagram. I forgot what it was called. And just because she played these mind games because she didn't want to have sex with you. Yeah, like give her anxiety. Like literally give a woman anxiety because she doesn't. Yeah, because she doesn't want to have sex with you. You said it
There's no
in
manipulation.
the video. You just said it.
Yeah.
She can
Sorry,
leave at any time. What do you say? Respect her boundaries.
Yep.
She can leave. What
Did you
part
not
that?
hear it? Did you not hear the video? He
Yeah,
said
competition
you
anxiety.
have
Everything.
to create a competition anxiety. So you want to give a woman anxiety because she doesn't
Isn't
want to
that
have sex with
manipulation?
you? So
Yeah.
weird.
Okay, obviously you don't understand how women work.
You said it in the video. I mean,
But I get the point of the video too, where
Because obviously a woman does not understand how women work. Okay.
like if that's what you're looking for, just to hook up, the other person has to respect that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you tell
Well,
them
clearly
it's okay to
they don't
leave,
respect it because you guys are saying we're
But it's
misogynists for
also-
exerting that boundary.
you should be tactful. Like when you talk to people, like you have to be. You don't have to, but it's the right thing to do to consider their feelings. You could be like, hey,
She clearly doesn't consider
you
my
don't have
feelings.
to call her in front of the
Oh,
girl.
here's the thing.
So this is funny. So he's making the argument that she didn't consider his feelings when she decided not to have sex with him. Like he's like, well, my feelings were hurt when she decided not to fuck me. So like thus, okay, again. This is again, I'm gonna call this out. This is beta mindset behavior where you're like taking everything personally. Actually, it's funny because he accused a woman of being in their feelings, but this is something like a naggy housewife does. Like she takes everything personally. Like I have some. I'm not gonna say anything specific, but I have some family members who are like this. Like they take everything so personally. Not anyone in my immediate family, but like they take everything so personally. And it's like, Jesus Christ, she probably did not want to have sex with you for a variety of reasons I mentioned in the past. It's not something personal. Or your game sucked, in which case it is personal. So fix that. Like, sorry, what is she supposed to do? Fuck you, even though you turned her off?
But even if it's personal, like.
But most of the time, it's not personal. When the girl doesn't fuck you, it's not personal most of the time. Or at least not as personal as you're making it out to be. So, yeah. So, I'm just seeing some little kind of beta type of thought process type of things.
And
You
here's the
could
thing.
just be like, hey, can
Why-
I gotta
why-
do something.
Why should I
Can you
respect her feelings when she's not giving me what I want? She's not respecting my feelings. So why should, see, that's the problem. Women want it one-sided. I want you to treat me like a princess regardless of whatever. I want you to give me the attention, whatever. But when a man puts his foot down and says, listen, I have boundaries too, and I have requirements as well. You don't want to fuck it out.
That's what.
And I was very polite about it too. But if I call another
Right.
girl, right? Here's the thing. I can't choose how a woman feels.
It's fine.
That's like me saying, hey, can I borrow $5,000? And you saying no, and I'm saying, well, you crossed my boundaries by not giving me what I want. Again, he's just using that word so poorly. Like, well, you crossed my boundary by not giving me that loan that I asked for. So fuck you. Like it just.
Don't you feel that you should always treat people with? I'm a big believer that I always treat people with dignity and respect, and if they don't give me the same courtesy, I just don't engage with that person.
That's because you're a nicer person than me. I'm not. I generally try. I'm generally very like people who met me in the street. I'm generally very nice. You see me interact.
No, you're
Yeah, I'm very nice. With the exception, if people are dicks to me, I will be dicks to them, and I will like troll them. I see that we have different styles. Myron's more aggressive and shit. I'm more like trollish and sarcastic. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own style. But I will not. Yeah, no, I will not. I will not walk away from conflict. That's one thing I don't do. And yeah, I don't walk away from conflict. Sometimes I actually almost crave conflict, and I will not like turn the other cheek if someone's being rude or disrespectful to me.
I don't say turn the other cheek, but how I operate, it's like why bother? Why waste energy, especially with someone?
Yeah, I get off on that shit. Like a few days ago, I don't know if I told you the story, but there was this lady in my apartment building who's like, whatever, she's on the board of directors. So she thinks she's like some head bitch. See, I used the B word too. And but I say it with love. And so she was just giving the security guard so much shit. She was being such a bitch to him. Like she was like treating him like crap. And he was like literally shaking. And I was waiting on my mail. And I was like, hey man, could you grab my mail too? And he's like, Alex, if I go in there, I'm going to do something I regret. And I was like, okay, dude, don't worry. Stay right here. It's okay. I'll wait. Not a problem. And then she comes out, and she's not supposed to be in the mailroom, and she starts lecturing the security guard. And he's an employee. He can't do anything, so he just has to sit there and take it. And, like, you know, like, I guess, like, if you know me, you know what's coming next. I was like, yo, lady, calm the fuck down. And she's like, don't get involved. And I was like, lady, you are being a massive bitch. And she just walks away. And I'm like, what a cunt. And then, like fuck her, because she's being a massive bitch. So
no, like in that aspect.
Yes. So
yeah,
I won't walk away from conflict. But
no, to defend other people, I've done it too. One time this lady was like yelling at someone, and I was like, that's so fucking unnecessary. Oh, one time in France, this lady was being super rude and was calling this other girl, like, was being a bitch to this other girl. And I just looked at her and I was like, you know what? With that face, can you really afford to be such a horrible human being?
zinger. All right, let's get back into this.
If I call another girl, it's called competition anxiety, which means other girls want guys
It's called bad game.
that other women want to be with. So if I call another girl and she feels competition anxiety, it's not my fault that she feels that way. I'm doing what I'm gonna do.
That's like saying, okay, if I punch you in the face, it's not my fault that you are in pain. Yo, if I steal all your shit, it's not my fault that you are hurt. Like, this is such poor argument. Like, if
you said something mean to me, of course, it's your fault that I'm gonna be hurt.
Listen, if I get up right now and piss all over you and call you,
Why do you always have to involve?
and call you a bitch, it's not my fault that
Why do you always
it's not
have
my
to
fault that you feel
involve?
bad.
Why do you always
But
have to involve?
I'm just trying to make a point. It's not my fault that you feel bad if I do that.
Why do you always involve bodily functions?
How she feels is irrelevant to me.
Right. It's fine that she does.
Sure, if
that
you're a
you do
dick.
tell her, hey, I'm looking for like a hookup or whatever. So like, it's fine. Like I can have somebody over, but to actually call somebody in front, like that's kind of like, like a little disrespectful.
Lame.
It's
Yeah, it's very
disrespectful.
lame.
Hold on. No. It's disrespectful that she doesn't want to have sex.
It's disrespectful that a woman
Yes.
doesn't want to.
It's disrespectful if you have a very big ego.
They go over something that it's
You have your,
about how someone
well, let's listen. I'll skip
Because-
forward through it.
because-
Well,
Okay, it's disrespectful because I've spent my time hanging out with this woman and she doesn't want to have sex.
4+
So
hours,
therefore,
money.
she doesn't want to have sex. Cool. You got to leave now. Like I said, that's the problem.
Well,
Like, it is okay for women to exercise they're able to leverage sex against men for compliance, but it's not okay for
again, only a small percentage of the time will a woman actually be leveraging sex against you for compliance. This is such red pill beta mindset thinking that women are like hoarding sex against you. No, these certain chicks in certain situations, yes. Majority of the time, no. So yeah, no.
So
The
how is it
mental leverage-
disrespectful that a woman doesn't want to, like, that you hang out with a girl and
It's-
that
it's
she doesn't want to
no,
hang out, like, give you
It's
sex?
disrespectful if the girl is using sex as a power play. In that case, that's the argument he's making.
Oh, okay.
But he's assuming every time a girl doesn't give you sex, it's because it's a power
Because
play.
what he's saying, it's like, I find it disrespectful that I hang out with a girl and I spend time on her and she doesn't want to have sex.
Well, so again, this goes back to another issue they have, is which they look at sex as very transactional.
attention for compliance.
Well, that's been established at that point. That's that's what it is.
Yeah, but it's applied though, because if you're going on a date with a guy and then you're like, you know what, I'm going on a date with a guy, spend hours with him, have him spend the money, then you go to his place, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to have sex. That's mad disrespectful. Why don't you tell him in the first place, you know what, I don't like you that much, but if you're the woman, say, hey, you know what, I don't like it that much, but let's be friends and then see what happens. No sex tonight. Tell them up front. Don't wait. Don't play this kind of
But some
monster.
people
I
like having
have
sex on the
something
I have
first
a
date,
perspective and I have a different type of view. So
Sure.
in my opinion, I feel like if you go on a date with a guy and you don't like the guy, and let's say, like you said, you've been dating for a long time, if he invites you to his house, don't go to his house. Some girls go to a guy.
I agree with that. In theory, that's the way it should be. But
Yeah, but like sometimes, like I agree with that, but sometimes the girl goes, right? And she maybe, I think that she's always within her right, and they're not saying she's not. But she has a right to change her mind. Maybe you kind of smelled down there and she was like, oh, you know what? He smells. I don't want to have sex with him because he stinks. Or maybe the size was not what she was expecting, or maybe you did something that turned her off. I think she has a right, and she's within her right to be like, you know what? Even though I came with the intention,
A person has the right to change their mind. It's not like she's signing a contract that she's going to fuck you. But generally speaking, yeah, it's probably it would be better if women didn't do that. But okay.
Yeah, but
I mean, we don't live in a perfect world.
His house, and like they're in bed with the guy, and they're cuddling with the guy, and they're there making out with you, doing the most. And then when the guy tries to make a move, they're like, "Whoa, I'm out of here!" Like, no. Don't end up in his room, in his bed, if you don't want to do anything.
There you go.
From the beginning, if you're at dinner and you have no intentions of being with that guy, do not go home with them.
I agree with her.
No, you don't have to do that. Cuddling and the whole thing, it's not going to work.
The point I'm trying to make, which you guys just don't understand.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, change your mind?
Well, I changed my mind?
Yeah, when you're like, I don't want to fuck this girl.
Yeah, I've had a few times.
Is a man's attention is not free, just like your sex isn't free. He is not entitled to spend another second with you if you don't want to fuck. And that's the problem that women have here. You went to the extent of calling me a misogynist for exerting a boundary, which the woman also...
Again, she never called you misogynist, nor did you actually exert a boundary. You just got, bitter when the other girl didn't want to fuck you, so let's stick to facts.
So exerted as well. It was in response to her asserting her right. I don't want to have sex. Cool. You no longer are going to get my attention. How is that misogynistic than me hating women? I think that's me being intelligent about my time.
I repeated myself like 5 times, but I'll say it again.
The definition of misogyny: hate and or contempt for women.
I think you guys are not straight up misogynists, because that would be stupid to be a straight up blatant. I don't think you're blatant about it, but you have a lot of misogynistic tendencies, which I think that's the key of this podcast, that you guys are able to reframe these ideas into a way that's consumable for like modern men to be like, oh yeah, this is okay to listen to.
Let's fast forward, because the misogyny thing is not something I would accuse them of myself either. So let's what were your notes? Do you have timestamps?
I do.
Okay, what are your timestamps?
I'm such a good student.
We're gonna play the student professor fantasy later. All right.
32 minutes.
32 minutes in. Okay, what happens there?
Well, we talked about it. He's teaching guys how to be leaders. I put relations or partnership, not you are below me type of dynamic. Do you really want like...
I'm teaching men to be leaders, which is inherently attractive to...
yeah, okay, let's fast forward through that. What's the next thing you had notes on?
32, 40, 59.
Okay, let's see what's here.
Okay.
Did you or did you not say earlier, I said, who leads in a relationship? You said men, correct?
A lot of times men do, yeah.
Okay. So for a leader to exist, someone must...
Okay, we're going to skip forward past that.
40, 59.
To not give you the fun. But you're within your right to get the fun from somebody else. Don't be stupid. Don't chase, replace.
How is that grapey? He said to leave, and you know what? Someone else, if they're down, cool.
Yeah.
If not, it's cool.
Yeah, the actions in that video are not wrong. I'm saying you're entitled to leave. You're entitled to tell her to leave. I'm just saying that.
No, but you pointed out that video many, many times. That video is...
No, but it's not misogynistic. It's just bad game. I'm gonna keep saying it's just poor game. It's not misogynistic. Just because something is not misogynistic doesn't mean that it's fine. It's whatever. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The mentality of that video, that you have to play these mental manipulative games with a woman because she doesn't want to give you her body. Yeah, I mean, there is something wrong with that, I think.
I would say it's pretty straightforward.
If I tell her to leave, how is that?
Another girl and be like, hey,
I agree with her.
If I'm in my own home, why should I change what I'm...
Like, it's just rude. And
it's rude that she doesn't want to have sex too.
Speak it to the mic. That's
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so again, so it goes back to ego being triggered. So girls want to have sex. My ego is triggered. I feel hurt because you didn't want to fuck me. Yeah, because you're taking it personally, right? So your game can be a lot better. This is my channel is primarily around game and whatever. So your game will be a lot better once you stop taking shit personally. Once you stop taking rejections personally. Once you stop taking, a girl who doesn't want to fuck you last night personally, and just see it as a part of the game and look for real reasons why it didn't happen, instead of just taking everything as a personal blow to your ego.
That's Like y'all don't like it. Here's the thing: women want to have the leverage at all times. I want to be able to dictate when we fuck. I want to be able to dictate.
I have to wear makeup,
and that's cool. Stuff to manipulate. But when a man puts his foot down and says, "I'm not tolerating this," you got to get out. That's a problem. Why is it a problem for a man to have boundaries and standards?
Okay, so he's using a straw man argument because no girl thinks that it's a problem for a man to have boundaries and standards. Girls actually like a man who has boundaries and standards. All right, go ahead.
He's like the whole woman wants to have leverage at all times.
Some
do you
women,
agree?
Some women do. Some women, and you should not date those women because those are the girls who will play games. Most women don't. Most women do not play these power games. I don't know. I'm not gonna say most women, but the women that you want to date, the women that I try to date, are not ones who play power games, who not try to have leverage at you all times. And if a woman is doing that, then, well, frankly, if it's just a one-night stand, I'll beat her at her own game. And I probably won't see her again. You know, if she's trying to be manipulative and playing power games, I'm just not into that.
I agree with him when he's gonna mention it or point it to empowering men not to tolerate the bullshit from female liberation. And I find that, of course, you shouldn't tolerate anything from someone who's trying to manipulate you. And
man or woman, really.
Yeah, you shouldn't tolerate bullshit from people, especially if you want to establish, whether it's like a relationship or whether friends with benefits, whatever you want to establish. And I do agree with him on that.
Why is it okay for a man to say, "I'm not waiting for sex, get out"?
And you understand, right? This is for men, not for women.
Mm-hmm. Why is that a problem?
So you taking it that way, understandable. But this is for men that want to actually get laid. Or, for example, want to find a woman that actually wants them. Because look, if you don't want the guy, that's fine. You can leave.
This is definitely not for men who actually want to get laid. This is for men who want to significantly reduce their likelihood of getting laid and fucking up a potentially easy situation.
You can find somebody else that you want. I'll find somebody else that I want. It's simple. It's not grapey. It's like, okay, you don't want me.
And where did I say put her in her place and all this extra stuff?
I'm not saying that.
That's what you said earlier.
Oh, no. I'm saying I'm responding.
Put her in her place. There's consequences.
Okay. Because I'm saying that you wanting her to leave, calling another, that's fine. That you do what you want to do. You have your free will to do whatever you want. I'm saying that mentality of your ego is so hurt that a woman doesn't want to have sex with you. Why should there be consequences to that? Because she doesn't want to have sex with you. If she doesn't want to have sex with you, she doesn't want to have sex with you.
But who's hurt?
That's fine.
He's not hurt.
You're saying,
get him what he wants.
I'm happy. Good.
You're saying that you're obviously, you feel some type of way.
No,
you obviously feel some type.
100% right. He obviously feels some type of way about it. Otherwise, his reaction would not be so extreme. Otherwise, he'd just be like, "Okay, cool. Well, it was nice meeting you. Take care." Right? That would be the reaction of a guy who really has no feelings about it.
Type of way, because you feel the need to play these manipulative games to make the girl feel bad. Is what I'm saying. That's the messed up part. That's what I'm saying.
I'm actually happy. You know why? Because now I know she doesn't want me like that. That's fine. You go your way. I'm gonna go my way. It's done at that point.
Then if you didn't feel some type of way about it, you wouldn't be calling someone else to play manipulative mind games on her.
No. Understand, right? You want to have a date. You want to have fun. Cool. I want to get laid.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do it, that's fine. If Jackie won't do it, Becky might. What's wrong with that? But you gotta say, Mara said, go to another room and call another girl, and then come back and say, "Hey, listen, you're in your right to do what you want. Please leave."
But he also said that she's gonna hear you talking to another girl. So obviously your intention was for you to.
It's not the intention. It's I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and a byproduct of it is she overhears it. That's on her.
So he's backpedaling here because earlier, as you guys saw, that point out that the intention is so the girl hears you. What's it called? Talking to the other girl. Again, I'm not judging that because frankly, it's a strategy that I think could have its uses in certain situations. And I'm all about I'm a pragmatist. I'm all about whether this something works or not. But I'm not going to judge it right or wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That being said, I'm just pointing out that he's backpedaling here because now he's saying, well, she hears you, she hears you, she doesn't hear you, she doesn't hear you. The whole point is that she hears you. So of course she's going to hear you if your whole goal is for her to hear you. So
what would you, if you were under that mentality, she hears you, why would you go to another room, call a girl instead of tell her to leave right away? Because in my logical common sense tells me you don't want to have sex with me? Okay, please leave. And then when you leave, I call another girl.
Okay, there's 2 points to the phone call. One is as a last resort. There's 2 reasons why you might do it. One is because it might get you the girl because it might get her to change her mind, right? And the second one is because it's a way for you to redeem your ego. It's a way for you to get back at her, right? Those are the 2 reasons why you would do it. The
Yeah,
problem
but
I have
he's-
with reason number 1 is that it's not really effective, and the problem I have with reason number 2 is that your ego shouldn't be that fragile in the first place.
Yeah, but like he's sidetracking. He's saying that, oh no, that's not the intention.
No, I know
of
he's backtracking now,
Exactly.
which is why I pointed out.
That's why I'm pointing it out. If that was the intention in the first place, why even call the girl? You know?
No, he's hardcore backtracking. I would have a lot more.
Yeah.
I would have a lot more respect if he was like, yo, he's like, if he said, hey, listen, this is a tactic that has worked for me several times. You may think it's fucked up. I actually think it's fine, and I use it, and it works for me. I would see no problem with that. I would at that point say, okay, has it really worked for you? And if it has, maybe there's something I could learn from him, right? But to kind of like downplay it and then like reframe and backtrack, that's just like such a like,
because what he's saying right now
is different than what he was saying 30 minutes ago.
Okay, but like what he's saying right now, it doesn't make any sense as to why you would not tell her to leave first and then call the girl.
I see your point. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go. Remember, ladies, I'm in my own home here.
You very clearly said manipulative mind games, though, like the anxiety thing, the whole thing. So it's just like it just gives this undertone of like, oh yeah, women need to be put in their, women need to be, you're not acknowledging what I'm saying right now.
No, I am.
Like you're like,
can we just agree?
I like how this girl is calling him out because he really does not really acknowledge like what she's saying. He's using a lot of straw man arguments.
To disagree.
Yeah, no, of course.
No,
I think we should just continue with the question.
No, of course, everyone's gonna have
I'm reading the
different opinions.
comments and they're all
everyone's gonna have different opinions, and that's fine.
No, that comes to my saying we could keep on. Let's read the chat real quick.
Neil Hikari, I had to come back from Ninja watching this girl sound ridiculous. We all looking at you crazy right now because they literally put.
So this is one thing I'm going to say that I don't want to call it misogynistic. I'm just going to call it rudeness. He's going to read all the negative comments that people are saying about the girl, which for example, whenever I do podcasts, there's any guest I have on, there's always a bunch of haters, negative comments. I'll never read those comments in front of the guest, right? Because that's just common decency. So I just think this is like a dick move. And I think he's just doing this because he feels like he lost the argument. And this is like,
forward to 46.
we will, but I just want to point this out. Like, I think he's just doing this because he feels like he lost the argument, which begs the question why they posted this video in the first place. And, this is a way of like feeling good about himself because all his supporters are going to reinforce him. They're going to obviously side with him.
Up the video you mentioned, Matt
does
Cross,
that a lot. He's very
crew.
rude.
I don't know how you all deal with this craziness every week. Yeah, I know. $200 super sticker from Z. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Your brother.
We got our boy Jabrizi Magic. They're just mad. Myron is revealing the one trick they have in their bag. They're in Miami.
No, they're not mad. Like, this chick is like super calm and collected. Like, what the fuck are these like red pill losers even talking about? Oh, they're so mad. Like, okay. Like, this is just like such intellectual stupidity, like such intellectual dishonesty. And I just think like I look less at them for putting that stuff on the screen because again, like the guest is sitting right there. Like, why would you do that? Like, it's just like all you're doing is just feeling better about yourself. Like, just when you have someone like, like when I have someone on my platform, I'm not going to put up the troll comments about them, just out of respect.
I mean, obviously, this is how they are getting across the events and opportunities. Yeah, that's what girls do is leverage sex against guys.
It's crazy in the building.
And we tell guys not to do it.
What up, Neil?
Shout out to him.
We got Devin Sayers.
There is literally no logic, proof, or sense to Red's statement whatsoever. Myron's here, some Red. I am sorry you have to deal with this because statements like this are what hurts a man's reputation and image if unchallenged. Yeah, that's why I'm challenging him.
That's why I'm getting so defensive. Oh my fucking god! I can't believe they brainwashed 300,000 people to like just like blindly support them. Like, yo, guys, this is what I always say. Like, use common sense, use critical thinking. If some of the stuff I'm saying doesn't make sense, then don't listen to me, right? Don't just blindly follow what some person with a YouTube channel says. So to me, this kind of like bandwagon type of thinking is just like, I don't know, frankly, it's kind of pathetic. But where do you want to skip forward to?
46-13.
Oh, we're actually pretty much almost there. 46-13. Okay. And I want to wrap this up and do some Q&A.
Her program, they're liberated as well to do what they want, and that means getting rid of the girl and finding another one. That's what we teach guys.
And another one.
Exactly.
And another one.
Girl because
another one. DJ Khaled.
The thing is this, women don't like it when a man puts boundaries up and says, I'm replacing you then. I literally said in the video, chase, don't replace.
Okay.
I think he means replace, don't chase, but okay.
It's that women treat men as expendable commodities. They take the guys go out on dates with them. They have sugar daddies, whatever it is.
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills. Guys are taken out on multiple dates. They don't.
Men do the same thing to women on average, so let's not pretend like it's one-sided.
Fuck the girls. I teach guys to treat women like expendable commodities back.
Okay, there we go. At least he's honest.
Ladies want to exert their boundaries and say, I want to do this and I want to do that, and you're not getting sex, you got to treat her just like she treats you. She doesn't want to fuck, cool. You're going to move on to another girl and replace her.
Yeah.
What is wrong with a man being liberated just like women are liberated to do as they want?
It's no force. It's just
no
like,
force. If anything, it's the opposite. You're getting rid of a girl that's non-compliant.
Yeah.
There's consequences to action. Just like if a guy took you on a bad date and you didn't like the date, you don't talk to him again, right? He has to suffer consequences for fucking up on a date. What's wrong with a man making a woman suffer for consequences for not getting what he wants?
Making her suffer for not having sex with you.
Notice how I literally said women make
That's
men
what you
suffer.
wanted in the video,
So,
right?
hold on, no. Hold on. Notice how I said she didn't say a word when I said women make men suffer consequences when they take her on a bad date. But when a man makes her suffer consequences for not getting what he wants, she has content.
I don't really have a problem. Do you have anything to add? Because I don't really have a problem with any of this.
Yeah, I mean, the whole consequences of things and the whole punishing people for not meeting your boundaries, I find that rather toxic.
Yeah, I think he's using those words loosely. I think he uses a lot of like words very loosely to fit his definitions. But
Okay.
let's fast forward. I want to get to the ending.
I said, okay, I'll repeat myself again that in that video in specific, that message that you were giving off, it can lead men to other rape, to put off other rapey tendencies.
Okay, let me fast forward.
So the facts is, what we're doing is facts. What you're thinking is opinion.
Okay, well, this is what I want to address.
Yeah, it means you have a
We
prejudice.
literally pulled that up.
And there's different forms of hate.
Listen, you guys are
hate.
contorting. No. We're not going to let you guys come on the podcast and contort the definition of misogyny. Misogyny is the hate and or contempt of women. We brought it up on
And
here.
prejudice. It said it.
Okay, how are we prejudiced against
Look
women?
it up on Urban Dictionary. Or on another dictionary. Look it up on another dictionary.
Look,
Because
I'm
you
not
guys pulled up
saying you
this
guys
one specific dictionary.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
That was the Webster definition.
That's Webster.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that
Urban
one.
Dictionary?
If hold on.
What the?
Look it up
Let me see what it
on
is. First,
another dictionary.
Oh, it's Victoria. Okay, you girls can make multiple times. Do we hate you guys? Like, not at all. Like, we treat you like guests.
If we hated women, we wouldn't even have them on the podcast.
There you go.
I don't
So-
think-
so-
No,
so
I don't
it's
think
like-
you
we
hate-
wouldn't even
so-
want to hear your opinion.
So
the facts is, what we're doing is facts. What you're thinking is
What
opinion.
we're doing
Based
is
on what-
Okay.
facts.
Let's quickly debunk this. So, yeah, I see this tendency. I see this a lot in FreshandFit. They just say that, what we're saying is facts. What we're saying is facts. Why is it facts? Because this is what you think, thus it becomes facts. Is there a study that supports what you're saying? Is there some double-blind, placebo-controlled study? No, a lot of this is something you read in Rollo's book, and thus you're like, oh, it's facts, but that's based on his life experiences. So this is equivalent of when a dude at the gym goes up to you and says, hey, man, I want to show you something. You got to take this, whatever, creatine, through your nose. You got to sniff creatine instead of taking, and then you get a better pump, and that's just science. And you're like, okay, well, what is that information based out of? Oh, some other guy told me that, but he's legit. And the other guy, I learned it from another guy. Oh, I read it in a blog post somewhere. And then you just follow up this train. It's not really based on facts. It's just based on people's opinions. So a lot of the stuff they're saying that they're claiming to be facts is actually just their opinions. And their opinions are based on their series of life experiences. I have had a different set of life experiences, and there's a lot of overlap because I say we agree on probably like 50% of shit. So there's a lot of overlap, but I have my opinions, which are different. But I'm not going to go out and say stuff that cannot be scientifically proven to be facts. It's just my opinions based on my life experiences, based on the experiences of my clients. I do think that my experiences are a lot more valid because I tend to be a lot more objective. But again, it goes back to my opinion. So I think he's just being very intellectually dishonest by just calling shit facts. That's not actually facts, just his opinion.
I think we should leave it at that.
Please
no?
live by facts and
I
not.
want to get to one last thing.
Opinion.
And that they should have to give you anything in return. Vex, $100. Please use this to buy yourself a drink after the show. You're gonna need it. Yeah. To replace the one that isn't giving me incorrect. And we've proven that a million times over that you're incorrect by saying.
Obviously, you guys are going to
disrespectful.
disagree with me. I mean,
It's
I'm
not
sure.
disagree. This is facts. You are wrong.
Tell us
You are
more.
wrong.
Again, no, it's just your opinion, dude.
100% wrong.
Okay, that's fine. We can.
500, not 499%, 500%.
Misogyny means the hatred of women, and you have yet to prove that. So therefore, you are wrong. You cannot prove it.
My last point, like I just said, and various points. I'm just like how you said.
Anyway, so what I wanted to point out, I forget where it is, but You do notice that throughout this thing that Myron gets quite riled up. I just found it ironic because they accuse the girls of being in their feelings, but yet like he's more in his feelings than the girl. Like she's being more rational and logical. I wouldn't really say that she won this argument because I wouldn't say she's the best debater either. I think she probably did better than Myron, but I see more of like a lose-lose type of thing, which is kind of what Kevin also said. So yeah, so this was interesting intellectual exercise. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's check out the questions because my brain is going to explode as well. We got 135 live viewers. Thank you for listening to our little tantrum. Now we are going to take all your questions. So this is going to be good. Oh, shit. We lost a lot of the earlier questions. So we are starting at the 10:30 mark. So if you posted your question before 10:30, you have to post it again. Sometimes this shit does this. Yeah, but it's not doing anything directly to give her point. At this point, it's 500% clear that Alex is jealous of Myron. Yes, I'm super jealous. I'm very jealous. I want to get into random red pill fights on the internet. And no, I mean, people make this argument like whenever you critique something that you must be jealous of them. Oh, like if you critique something, you're jealous of them. No, I just think one, this is good entertainment. Two, I think that there's a lot of bad ideas, and I think this was important for men to have good information. And three, I think this is a trendy topic, so I want to capitalize on it. So those are my honest intentions for doing this video. I actually was pretty much done with Fresh and Fit until I saw this clip come out, and I was like, I have to fucking comment on this shit.
One guy did have a question very early on about having anxiety with women and how does he deal with. If you could post it again, because I really wanted you to say that.
Will you fight MMA style? JML didn't accept. No, I will not fight MMA style. Why would I? What would possibly be my motivation for doing that? Like that would be the dumbest thing ever. Also, this idea that's been going around now, like the YouTube boxing matches, like like you disagree with someone unless you have to fight them. No, like I'm a fucking grown ass man. I'm not gonna fight anybody for YouTube clout. Okay. What skills from cold approach help in social circle game? Well, in cold approach, you learn how to be more socially aware. You learn how to pick up on other people's emotions. You learn how to be more self-aware. What your behavior you're doing. You learn how to be more confident, more assertive. You learn how to lead. You learn how to get over your fears and anxieties. That's probably one of the biggest ones, and all of those will transfer to social circle game. You have anything to add, babe?
No, I don't. I'm not an expert.
Okay. They say later in the debate that the competition anxiety is something that may happen as a result, and they're not doing it to give them. Okay. If I call Natty a bitch, her being hurt is something that may happen, but I'm not. Maybe my intention isn't to make her feel bad, but it may happen, and so that's a faulty argument to me. Like you are responsible for your actions to some extent, and if you are, look. I have zero personal problem with giving a girl competition anxiety. I actually don't see an issue with it at all. But I'm not going to pussyfoot around it and say that, I did it for some other reason. Like, no, if I do that move, which I'm not going to do because I think it's bad game, I did it to give a girl competition anxiety. So I think that they shouldn't pussyfoot around and they shouldn't backtrack and they should just own that shit. So this is all. Your woman is making you soft. Please tell Myron he's baited his face next time you see him when you're walking your dog. Why would I do that? Like, why would I start a fight with a random person who I don't know? And what will be accomplished of that? Like, what? We go to jail. One of us goes to jail. One of us is hurt. I mean, he's got 50 pounds on me. Probably would be me, realistically speaking. I don't know. Why would I start a fight with someone who I have no personal problem with, really? It's just I disagree with the shit he says. So again, this is like just dumbass fucking thinking like, oh, someone says something about, someone disagrees with you, now you have to fight them. Like, no, I never prescribe to that thought of thinking. Isn't that the guy who said he's a high value man? Yeah, so there was a clip, what he's referring to, there's a clip where a girl is pressing Myron to say, well, are you a high value man? and he kind of dances around the issue. He's like, well, no, I'm not. I wouldn't say it like that. I don't want to brag. And again, I do see him like sometimes pussyfoot around things in order to win arguments, and I find that to be intellectually dishonest. So in that specific situation, he was doing it because if he admitted, because the girl put him in the girl put him in like a trap, because if he admits he's a high value man, then his previous argument that he made wouldn't be true. So it would be like a logical, I don't know, whatever the term is, but a logical trap, let's just say. And so he could not admit to be a high value man because then that would negate his previous argument. And so he didn't do it. He danced around it, which I think is silly. I would just in that situation be like, all right, you got me there. I am a high value man. So, okay, I can see your point. And then maybe I might retort that, maybe I might not, but you don't want to get so stuck on your points that you can't ever admit that you're probably off about something. Does Indian P stand for Indian Physical Education?
What does Indian P stand for?
Indian Pussy Eater.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Again, such a dumb argument. So sad how many men are drowning in jealousy over mine, because anytime you critique something, it's jealousy. So when this is an extreme example, but when Winston Churchill and FDR said that, Nazism was a bad idea and that we should not turn to Nazism, they were just being jealous of Hitler's rise to fame. They were just being jealous of Hitler's, victories, not equating Myron to Hitler or anything like that. I'm just making the point that you can disagree with ideas, and I would do the same thing. I've disagreed with other bad ideas. I've disagreed with Todd V, for example. The difference, here's one thing. This is one difference between me and some other YouTubers that have gone after Fresh and Fit. The difference is I don't go after anyone personally. Like, I've done some roasts on this channel, but I only go after the stuff that they put out. Because in my opinion, if you put out a video on your channel, it's fair game for critique. I will not go after someone personally. I will not say, based on this and this and this. And believe me, like, there's things I could go if I wanted to go in that direction. I just won't do that. So I don't attack people personally. But I will attack bad ideas when I see them. And, I think that you should, as a man, be able to do that. Like, and again, this argument that if you attack a bad idea, you're jealous, is just really dumb. Okay. He should just go to her place. So if he wants to leave, problem solved. I mean, I actually always teach not going to the girl's place, but having her come to yours, because that makes the pull easier. Yeah, I'm a fan of theirs. Won't deny that. I'm a fan of PWF too. I think there's nothing wrong with that premise. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a fan of both. And I actually occasionally watch their videos for entertainment and stuff like that, and sometimes for roast topics. So I think there's nothing wrong with being a fan of different channels and being open to different ideas. So, and you should be.
Okay, that's a good. If she doesn't want to have sex with him, why is she at his house, knowing that that's why he has her there? He could have another woman.
Because women are not thinking about it usually that logically. Maybe she is interested in having sex with you, and then she changes her mind because you say something dumb, because you smell bad, because you have like some dumb things laying around your apartment, because whatever, because you're clumsy, because you can't escalate, because you whatever. So many reasons. So could be any number of things. Maybe she didn't really realize that you're inviting her to your place. Like, usually you're not saying, hey, let's go back to my place and have sex. You're saying, let's go back to my place and have a drink. Maybe she legitimately thought, like, which would be silly of her, but it does happen, that you just want to have a drink. Or maybe she's testing you. There's so many reasons. So again. Okay, let's see. I think we're missing the main point. A man can ask her to leave if he wants. Absolutely. A man can and should, if a girl's wasting his time, ask him to leave. Now, if the minute that the girl says, I don't know if I want to have sex with you, and you say, okay, please leave, that's pretty poor game, because usually you can probably turn that around, and you just wasted, 2 hours on the date, or if you just persisted for another 10, 20 minutes, you could have gotten laid. So, yeah, that probably is, poor game doing it. But yeah, I don't think anyone's denying that. Nor do I think the women on the show were shitting him on it, nor are we. I do think he gets that part right.
It's just that how he goes about it that I personally find a little crass.
Okay. It's making him win. If he was purposely making her anxious, wouldn't he call the girl right in front of her? I mean, he's doing it in the next room with the goal of getting the girl to hear her. I mean, let's not dance around it or sugarcoat it. Like, it is to get competition anxiety, which, again, I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. Like, I think that's a fine if you decide that, but let's not dance around it. Like, when if I whip my dick out, it's with a goal of getting laid. It's not with a goal of just giving my balls some breathing room. So you got to own the shit you do.
He didn't really own it. If his intention was not to have a reaction from the girl, he would have asked her to leave and then call the other girl.
Coach Kyle taught us a long ago, if a girl isn't DTF, then you probably haven't built enough comfort yet. That could be part of it. Could be, again, all the other reasons I mentioned, not enough attraction, on concern or objection. So I wouldn't say it's as simplistic as that.
But why? Okay, he's like, the point of the call is to let the girl know that he has options.
Yeah, but it's okay. But let me equate that to how do you feel if someone who is a rich guy is constantly bragging about his body? Like, yo, man, check out my Lamborghini, right? I have a nice Lamborghini, right? My Lamborghini, right? You see it over there? That's not really tactful, nor is a good game. If a girl just casually happens to find out that you have options with other girls, that can work in your favor. But if you're super obvious about it, like in that situation, it's going to work against you. Same thing as if a girl finds out that you have money, that's going to work in your favor. But if you're bragging about your Lamborghini or about your money, that's going to work against you. The same exact principle here. So that's why it's a subpar game. Okay, let's see this.
This guy.
I know, but I like refuting these haters. Turn off a chick to want me. Why would I care if it's a turn off for her if I call another girl? Well, I mean, if you're trying to actually sleep with a girl, which I'm assuming you are because you went on a date with her, then, why would you run poor game at the very end when you might just need to literally put in another 5-10 minutes worth of quote unquote work, and then you can sleep with her. If it's that much of a turnoff to you, then you have to wonder why it's that much of a turnoff. Is it because your ego is getting super hurt? Probably that's the case because, for me, it's not that, if a girl gives me a little bit of LMR, it's not that much of a blow. Like, I'm not fucking taking it personally. It's not that much of a turn off. Like, I don't like it when a girl is does that too much, in which case I probably would ask her to leave. But if it's a little bit or just some answer concern or a little bit of lack of comfort, then I would just rather address that. So yeah, you're jealous of mine showing your true Baylor colors, the argument that I love to hear, which makes no sense. Alex, watch out. The red pillars are going to come after you. They can suck my fucking dick. I don't give a shit about these red. No, there's some red pillars I've had on the channel who I've actually, it's funny because usually when I have a person on this channel, doesn't matter where they come from, I can usually find mutual ground with them. Like I had that interview I did yesterday with.
I really liked it.
Yeah, that guy. He's a red pillar, and we found a lot of mutual ground. Same thing was for the black guy. What's his name?
Say something.
Yeah, but me and him, we had an awesome podcast. So yeah, I just think that fans can be a little overzealous sometimes.
Okay, let's go to that question. Jack Peak. I've had a girl leverage sex against me more than once.
It does happen.
How can you prevent that from it happening? What should we do?
But he didn't ask that question. He's just
to just give people feedback, babe.
Oh, I've had a girl leverage sex against me more than once. Well, honestly, if a girl is leveraging sex against me, I do think that in that situation, you probably should ask her to leave. Because to me, that's personally a turn off if a girl is leveraging sex. I would say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to play this game, so let's just call it. I'll probably do something like that. Or I might just, if I really want to fuck her, I might beat her at her own game. I might do like a false, like a takeaway and stuff like that, and might just like out-frame control her. So I might say, what made you think I wanted to fuck you tonight? And she'd be like, well, what do you mean? You've been hitting on me all night. I'd be like, yeah, you think I actually want to have sex with you? And I'll just hit it like that and just make her drive her crazy and then bang her. All right. It's so funny. There's so many like Fresh and Fit fanboys here who are just like
this guy
blindly defending without like listening to anything I'm saying. Like, okay.
Let's just skip this stuff. Do you guys have any Q&As other than?
You will never have success. This guy. Okay, let's see. I know it does make sure you post the video or anything. I love the little fanboys who are just like.
Okay, I like this one. This
Tinder match and I were messaging quite a bit, super sexual and good vibing. I get her snap and send her a video and she immediately blocks me. So how to deal with pics that look better than me? I sent her snap and sent her video and I sent her snap and sent her video. It was something about the snap or the video that she didn't like. Maybe it was a bad angle of it. Maybe he didn't look good in it. But it was probably something like that. So I think you need to get a better snap and video.
When guys send me videos, that freak me out.
I honestly never send snaps or videos at all.
I don't like it. I
don't see the point in it.
When guys start sending you pictures of themselves, it's kind of cringy to me. That's why maybe she blocked you.
So just for confirmation, the only thing you guys have an issue with is him calling. I have no issue with that at all. I'm just saying it's poor game. I have no moral issue with it at all. And I would literally challenge someone to prove to me that is good game, that shit works the majority of the time.
I have an issue with him backtracking.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You just own it.
That part was calm or lame.
That wasn't your intention.
Really like PLF, how I'm going to disagree with this video on some most points. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. You're free to disagree. I mean, I think that's good. We can have agree and disagree.
Oh, Luca.
Bro, a lot of the stuff they mentioned is supported by scientific studies. Okay, I want to see some of these studies. I mean, you can literally. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. You can literally whatever your argument is, you can find multiple studies that support it. I mean, I would like to see that an unbiased study that supports some of the stuff that they're saying. Okay.
Okay, this season.
Will PWF set up escrow for JMO versus Danny and Leo? Not sure where JMO is getting the money. I will totally do that. I was going to make a post about that. I am so down to make that happen. Not as a fight, but as a debate. Yes, and I will host it on my channel. I am friends with John, so it would make it hard for me to be
objective.
But I can do it. I think I can do a pretty good job at it. So, yeah, I will totally be down for that.
Go to Hyper Game USA because he does ask a good question.
The size isn't what she was expecting. What size does this girl expect exactly? I don't know. Bigger than 6 inches, I guess.
I mean, sometimes.
If it's, I mean, how?
Sometimes, I mean, some of my friends have said no because the guy was either too big or too small.
Yeah, I would.
Some girls have like a lot of my friends have like stories where they're like, you know, like I got scared. He was so big that I was like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Does that really happen?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a myth.
No, it's not a myth. There has been like a moment where he's like too small, either too big that's kind of like turns her off, or too.
Oh wow, we just skipped a bunch of questions, so I gotta get back into this. Okay, well, the app. The problem is this app sometimes is glitchy. Okay, let's keep going.
So, yeah. Can you imagine like a huge thing?
Alex, talk more on frame control. Well, I have videos on this. So I have multiple videos on frame control. I mean, what I would give now, unless I dedicate 10, 20 minutes to this topic, which I don't think would be fair to other people, would be, disservice. Just check out the videos I already have on the channel on frame control, unless you have a more specific question. Would you consider having FreshandFit on for a stream? Yeah, probably would if it, yeah, as long as it's like, yeah, I would probably do it, yeah. Alex, completely off topic for FreshandFit, but how do you handle cheat days when you're trying to get jacked? I honestly, personally, don't take cheat days.
Take any.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I do it for other reasons because I'm getting over some health issues, so that's why I don't take cheat days.
Oh, but like he's very strict.
Yeah, I'm very strict on my diet.
I'm very disciplined on his diet.
I'm going through a breakup. I still love her, and I'm having a hard time moving on. I'm doing my best to focus on myself, do the things that I do love to do alone. I think about her every day. Oh, honestly, like the best way to get over a girl is to get with another girl. Honestly,
no, I don't think that's healthy.
I found it to be true whenever I was hung up on a girl. Yeah, I mean, try to force yourself to get out there and get with a few girls, and then suddenly she won't be.
I would say also reframe it as to what stories you're telling yourself and what did you learn from the relationship.
Yeah, I would say get out there and get with a few other girls.
I would say reframe it.
Is your strategy of hooking up would it work to get a girlfriend? Yes, with some modifications.
Okay, what are some of the modifications?
I like this. You can tell Alex has game because he pushes back on FreshandFit rightly, but isn't afraid to disagree with Natty.
He's not.
There's different types of games, and there's nothing wrong with any game unless it's abusive. I would say, again, this is not good game, though. So there's different types. There's just like saying there's different types of business strategies. One involves you taking your money and just throwing it in the wind and spending it on lottery tickets, and one involves you investing and, hiring good people and creating a service, right? You can say that they're both different types of business strategies, but one is better than the other. So I would make the argument that some of the stuff they talk about is just simply poor game. Okay, the footnotes for anything Mark says, see the rational male. Okay, just because Raul Tomasi, who's been with a grand total of like 5 girls in his life, wrote to something does not make it, like fucking true. Like I disagree with quite a few things. I made videos on this, what Raul Tomasi gets wrong in the rational male. So that's his opinion based on his experiences, some of which he is correct about, some of which he's wrong about.
Will you drop your fitness and
diet routine for optimum gains? No, I would not. Do you think cold approach is 100% necessary for picking up women, or is online game sufficient? I think cold approach there's a lot it can teach you and is good. I would be very reluctant to cut out completely, but if you have done it already and you kind of got a lot of the lessons out of it, and maybe you're working on your business and you just don't have time for a period, then I think it's okay to cut it out for a period of time. Can we talk about flaking? Last few years, I've noticed a lot more flaking by the girls that how preemptively deal with flakes. Babe, you take this one while I take a piss.
Babe, why do you leave me by myself? I hate when he does that. Okay, guys, how do you deal with flakes? Oh, shit. I must confess, I am guilty of flaking on people. Guys, sorry, I get super awkward when Alex leaves me by myself. Good ways to deal with flake. Okay, so maybe schedule many girls around the same time in case one flakes, like double book. That could be one option. And also, Alex has a lot of videos about how to deal with flake. India P is looking at me and giving me like the stares about my bad performance. Alex.
What?
How can he deal with flaking? Oh my god.
Well, you weren't able to cover this
No,
one?
I was not.
Oh, Jesus. I'm gone for a few seconds.
I know, and I make
How
a
to
mess.
deal with flaking? All you can do is build as much investment as possible from the girl, yeah, that will minimize it, but you can never completely prevent it. You can also deal with it correctly when it happens. And I have so many videos and articles on this, so just check that out for more info. Okay, I'm gonna skip this.
Have you guys thought?
Nah, can you talk about sugar mama game, finding sugar mama, etc.? I've never done that personally. I've never had a
You've
sugar
never
mama.
had a sugar
I've
mama?
never had a sugar mama.
Do I count as your sugar mama?
No. What do you buy me? you bought me this water today.
Isn't that a sugar mama type of thing?
Yeah, definitely, babe. Yeah, hey, you got me this water. You spoil me sometimes. No, I've always wanted to. I never really want to have one because one, usually sugar mamas are going to be old and decrepit, and two, I'd rather just make my own money and pay for my own shit. I never really liked taking from other people, so it's never something that appealed to me. So I really would not be a good expert on it, but I would think that if you want to have a sugar mama, the best thing
Seeking.
Yeah, seeking, and you want to be like young, hot, like have abs and shit like that. What are your thoughts on the book Models by Mark Manson that approach the game? I think it's a pretty good book. It's kind of basic, but I think it's good. It's a very good starting point that I would recommend. I like that book. Okay, have you guys thought about live streaming on Twitch and starting your own vlog channel on YouTube? No, it's not gonna happen. What is your take on wearing cologne date or cold approach? I think it's highly underrated. Logics. Yeah, I think wearing cologne is a good idea. I think you should definitely do it and get good cologne. I don't think it's gonna be like a huge.
No, it's a huge turn on.
No, I don't. Well, I don't think it's gonna if the guy has a really bad game, you're not gonna fuck him just because he smells good. This is interesting. What are some tips for short guys? I'm 5'4". Should I stay off dating apps? Haven't had much luck on them. What are your thoughts on this?
Maybe he could narrow his height requirements on dating apps to girls 4'10" to 5 feet.
That's like literally 2% of girls.
Well, maybe that could work.
I would say leave your height out of it. Try to get pictures that make you look as tall as possible. Wear elevator shoes, which will give you an extra 2 inches in the photo shoot. Try to make yourself look as possible. Go for girls 5'5" and under. Go for shorter girls, and if you get really good photos,
5'4" and under.
Yeah, get as jacked as possible. Having good body will compensate a little bit, but yeah, that is a tough. But I did used to have a roommate who was 5'3", and he did used to bang a lot of chicks from Tinder back in the day. He also later wound up pulling a gun on me, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Oh, I did, yeah. But so it can work. His quality was a little debatable, but he was going for shorter girls. I did notice that.
Oh, there's a question from my BFF. What did Alejandro get for you for your birthday? He got me a massage.
I got her a massage.
Yeah, and you also took me. We spent my birthday night together.
Someone asked this. Well, yeah, I will absolutely do that. That's interesting. Why people in the game community typically conservatives? That's an interesting question. I've kind of wondered that myself. I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian, generally speaking. Some liberal, but mostly libertarian. I just believe people should be able to do what they want as long as it's not fucking up the environment. So yeah, I've always kind of wondered that myself, to be honest. I'm just trying to go through these. Would you hook up with a coworker if she's into you, Alex, in your opinion? I probably would. Would you?
No.
No?
I don't hook up with a coworker.
Bro, who's that dude on your couch? You mean my dog, Rhaegar?
I thought he was gonna say that I look like a dude.
No. Alex, is PRP worth it? For hair, yeah, but it's kind of painful and you get diminishing returns. But I think for hair loss in the back, it helps. For front, not as much. Yeah, 50-50. If you have the money, then do it for sure.
Oscar, if you liked your message.
Do you like my messy apartment? Can we agree it's poor game? Can we also agree there's nothing misogynistic or rapey about the content like she claims? Yes, I will agree with that. I do think it was poor game. I think he did backtrack later on. I did think he was in his feelings, but I don't think it was misogynistic, nor do I think it was rapey. It's not rapey at all. There's nothing
No,
rapey.
it's not rapey.
It's not rapey about anything he said. I don't think she claimed, though, that he was – I would have to go back and watch it. I don't think she claimed that he was being rapey. I think he claimed that there's rapey vibes in – or it could be interpreted as – yeah, she kind of made a weird argument, and I'd have to go back and see exactly how she said it. But, yes, I will agree with that. Fresh and Fit shame promiscuous women for having lower value, yet want women to put out early, yet chastise them for being too selective and shaking kick out girl. That is very interesting. Good point. Yeah, that is true. I never thought about that. So they do kind of shame promiscuous women for having lower value, but they do want the woman to put out fast. So that is kind of a paradox. Me personally, I never shame promiscuous. I want women to put out fast. I never shame promiscuous women. I love promiscuous women. They're my bread and butter. So I would never do that. Nor would I. Also, Drake can kick a girl out and not seem bitter. You can't. Yeah, to some extent, but even Drake could come off as bitter. Just depends on how he does it.
You're very even-handed. What does he mean by that?
I don't know, that I'm like fair or something. I don't know. Do you think money and status and the appearance of a crazy lifestyle is really what women are looking for the most these days when it comes to online dating? Depends on the woman, depends on the city, depends on the country. I think some are. I think a lot of women just want like a cool, attractive guy, and that's physically and emotionally, who they have chemistry with and who fucks them really well, in my opinion. I'll pay for it so you can shop all the haters. I told J Mulv I will pay for lie detector so he can shop all the haters. He declined. Why would he do that? What is he hiding? I have no idea why he declined. You would have to ask him. Probably just have practicality reasons. J Mulv's kind of response to haters is a little different than mine. His is just like insta block them. I will actually engage with the haters and just like point out their logical fallacies. So we're kind of different in that sense. Alex, can you do a video on how to probably use Kratom? I would be weird of doing that simply because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. And even though it's legal, that might be changing. I'll quickly cover that right now, though. So I'm not an expert on this at all. I'm just someone who is a fan of Kratom. So the way I personally do it is I do it 6 days a week. I take 1 day a week off, which is important to reset your tolerance. And also I rotate strains, so I won't take the same strain back to back. And also I throw in Mitraguna hirsuta in there, which is a cousin of Kratom, as a way, because really the goal with Kratom is just to keep your tolerance from going up. So I think there's some people who say Kratom is purely innocent. I don't think so. I think it is opiate in properties, so it can be. It's not nearly as bad as painkillers or anything like that, but I think it can become a problem if you let it. But I think there's definitely strategies to mitigate that. I think who are they? Good Looking Loser. I think he has a good blog and section on that, which I actually would love to get him on and discuss that. All right, let's see. Do you think it's possible to portray yourselves to be a model on Tinder with the right pics if you're good looking enough? Yes. Do you do intermittent fasting? If so, how many hours? I do. I usually do between 16. I either do 16 hours or sometimes 24 hours, but mostly 16 to 17. Can you drop, like, when you say drop, like stop doing it or
no?
Sure.
Can you show
your
diet and choice?
I do paleo diet. I have a food delivery program. It's like a private chef. It's paleo, lots of meats, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats. And I probably do about 3,000 calories a day, something like that.
That's it?
Yeah, I do about 3,000. Okay. So I struggle with the a little bit. So they're spending a lot of time going down the girl and using Vibe makeup for this. Should I consider taking Sildenafil Viagra? I think it's good to try it, but I wouldn't get too reliant on that stuff. There could be multiple reasons why you're having ED. It could be anxiety, it could be hormones. I would go to a functional medicine doctor and have them do a series of tests on you to make sure there's not a physical reason for why you're having ED. That would be my advice.
Oh, there's Ruben.
What are your guys? I'm really not a good authority on this, honestly. Like, I'm really not that. Like, I think what I do is fairly suboptimal. I mean, I think it's decent, but I'm really like, people have always asked me, like, can you make your gym video, whatever? But I just don't think I'm an authority on this. Like, I think I work out. I work out probably more than the average person. I eat better than the average person, but I really don't think I'm a good authority on this. So I'm not going to be able to give you anything other than, the basic stuff like progressive overload, stuff like that.
How are we gonna ask a woman how to stop herself from flaking? That's a good one. I like that.
Okay. Playing with Fire collaboration with Troy Francis, only real guy who approaches. Yeah, I'd have to watch his work. Jay Malv is not fond of him, but I'll have to evaluate him independently. Okay. Let's see. We'll take a. About also 90% of red pill guys don't do game, including don't have an experienced women. They're fronting on their YouTube channel. People that haven't done game can tell and follow Bondi. Yep, agree with that. Alex, how would you recommend getting the best out of your mastermind blueprint? Just recently bought it. Good question. Welcome to the resistance. No, I mean, just go through the chapters, go through them in order, start applying the concepts. And when you have questions and there's something that you're confused about, post in the mastermind group, and we'll help you out. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't think there's like a best.
New level of dating contact, reaction with this lover.
Adding when you're taking out again, Jessica. What do you think on this?
Nati, what's your take on guys with game dressing good if he approaches you? Oh, he will gain points for sure. I love a guy who dresses well.
Which begs the question, what she's doing with me.
He put a spell on me.
Do you take Adderall? No, I take Ritalin once a week, maybe when I have something I really need to do. But yeah, I don't really like to fuck with like hardcore pills or anything like that.
How to respond to my social circle when they think I'm a man whore?
I've been monogamous with my girlfriend since March, and I was on and off rotation last couple of months. I mean, that could be a good thing, like that you're a player. Like, just own that shit. That would be my way of doing it. Own it. And be like, yeah, I like to have fun. I'm not married. What's wrong with that? Are you jealous because you're not getting laid? Like, yeah, I would just, kind of own it.
Does he mean like because you have a girlfriend, perhaps? How it may make him look?
I don't know. Yeah, I would need to know.
What?
Best starter Pokemon. I don't know. I never got into Pokemon. We'll take one or two more questions. Is it worth hiring a professional photographer for dating apps? Yes, as long as they know what they're doing. So send them my article that I have and tell them you want the pictures to look very natural. Also ask them to see a sample of their work and make sure that they can take natural looking pictures. Yeah, that would be my take. What's your opinion on Kevin Samuels? Generally, I like him. I would love to have him on a podcast. I don't agree with everything he says, but or his style per se, but there's a lot of agreement. I think it will be a very, very interesting discussion. So let's make it happen, guys. Hit up Kevin Sandals, tell him to come on the PWF podcast, because I think that'll be a really fucking epic discussion, because we have just enough overlap and just enough differences to make a very interesting, unique debate. And I respect him because he's usually pretty chill and rational and logical. What's your chill to pull ratio? I don't really know what that. Oh, like how many girls do I hang out with? I mean, I would say if I go on a date with a girl, 60% of the time I'll probably pull her or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Bam.
His smile. I like their smile. What's your opinion on dating girls with daddy issues? I really like
What's my
smile.
opinion? They're my bread and butter. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're fine as long as the issues are not like super.
Would you date a girl with daddy issues?
It depends on how bad the daddy issues are. If she's like aware of them, then yeah, probably. Alex, what is your accent, my man? Soviet. Yes, I was born in Russia. I was born in Belarus, so that's probably.
Is it Russian? Isn't your accent different than Russian?
No, it's the same thing because we speak the same language.
But don't you have like a different Russian accent?
No, Belarusian and Russian people have pretty much the same accent.
The same, like with the like Russian, everyone has the same accent.
No, Russia is a humongous country, so
yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like how's your like in Russia? Like in the Russian language.
If I go to Russia, I will have a very strong American accent.
No, but like if you go to if you're speaking Russian, if your parents are speaking Russian,
yeah,
are their accent different than someone from Moscow?
No, not really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's city, because we're from the city in Belarus and they're from the city in Moscow's a city. So that city, if they're like Hicks from like fucking nowhere Russia, then it might be different.
Oh, because in Colombia, like we have all different accents.
If there wasn't any big breast Spanish girl, what other race girls would be your favorite? I probably would kill myself, honestly.
If there wasn't any big breast Spanish girl.
it would be called. I would have to get by with big booties. Is kava healthy to consume regularly? I've heard the effects are similar to alcohol. They are, but you get all the benefits without. So I completely cut out drinking. Maybe we'll have one drink a week and replace it with kava in the last 6 months, and I think it's a lot better. But I have heard that it's not the best on your liver, but I do blood work regularly, and my liver is 10 out of 10.
Do you have female friends?
Do you have female friends? I have a few, but they're all girls who I banged already. All right, so we have any last questions? We've gone for an hour and 56 minutes. Let's do one last question.
Let's do 2 hours, babe.
Let's cap it at an hour and 59, babe, so we can so people who are watching this on repeat. He won't do your show because you don't like Fresh and Fit. I'm fairly neutral. I don't hate them or anything like that. That's also silly reason not to do someone's show because you disagree with them. I mean, like, okay, let's have a debate and talk it out. Like we're civil human beings. We can have a normal debate where we can disagree on shit. So, and I wouldn't say I don't like them. Like there's some things about them I respect, like their hustle and shit. I just think they gave pretty poor dating advice, and I'm going to call that out.
Do you have trans friends?
Alex, what's your take on about the Simpson weirdos on the net lately? Yeah, that's unfortunate. How do you split? I'll have like a half a sip or something like that. I'll have like a tiny amount. Or I'll just drink kava, honestly. Anyway, all right, so we've gone for a while. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
What's coming up next week?
What's coming up next week?
Yeah, or this week.
Our OnlyFans is being released. No, next week we got that. We're gonna drop that video from the bar. So we
did an Infield.
We recently mic'd her up and we did Infield and we set her loose at the bar, and we wanted to see how guys would approach her and then what would happen if I come in a few minutes later and cock block them. So it's gonna be pretty interesting.
Are you gonna do the one where I was in swing woman?
I'm still debating whether I want to release that or not. I'm gonna have to look over those again. 50-50 on that.
Oh, I really like those. I made a lot of friends while being in Swing Woman.
Yeah, we mic'd her up and we did a lot of interesting things at the bar. So that's going to be coming out. Okay. We got a lot of awesome stuff dropping. So make sure you guys smash that subscribe button.
Are you okay? Are you gonna do like I never seen your infields for obvious reasons. So how do they like I'll have to check how they work. Or you tell me after this.
Yeah.
Okay, so when is that coming out?
When is it coming out? I don't know. Probably depends when I can get the breakdown down. Either Thursday, either tomorrow, or more likely probably Sunday. It's gonna be a minute. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
Hope you guys
guys.
enjoyed this.
Bye, Ruben.
Adios, amigos.